You're listening to Talking Baseball with Sal Angioletti on Northeast Streaming Sports.
Oh, say can you see? Welcome to another edition of Talking Baseball with me, Sal Angioletti, and my co-host, of course,
Colin McGlasky.
And let's welcome back my man all the way at the end there,
Matt Sirianni of Sirianni Says Sports.
What's going on, brother? Welcome back home.
Oh, it feels great to be back. It feels great.
And we want to welcome everybody to our 2-year anniversary show. Woo! Let's give everybody a round of applause. And we have a very special guest this evening with us to celebrate our 2-year anniversary. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Paul Semendinger. Good evening, sir.
Hey, Sal. How you doing? Good to be with you guys.
How are you?
I'm doing terrific. How are you?
All right. Introduce yourself to the audience, Paul, and tell us a bit about yourself.
All right. So I'm an elementary school principal, but in regard to baseball, I am the editor-in-chief of the Start Spreading the News Yankees blog. We've been around for a little over 3 years, and we have a very loyal readership, and we're always looking for more people. We put out tons of original content every single day. And I'm also on the Bronx Beat podcast with EJ Fagan, and on Saturday mornings, I'm on the Mac and Jack show, which is part of, obviously, the Northeast Sports Network.
All right. And I read your bio. You said you were a baseball player. Is that correct?
Yes, I still am. I hadn't played since I was 16, but 3 years ago, I started pitching in an over 35 league. I'm going to be 53 this summer. But so I'm pitching against a bunch of young guys in a wood bat league in Bergen County and Passaic County, New Jersey, nice. And having some success. So it's great stuff.
Wow.
Are they looking for more players? I'm looking to play ball.
I'm telling you, it is the best. I'll tell you the best thing is they allow 3 players per game to suit up who are not even 35 yet. And my youngest son, he's a senior in college. He goes to Lafayette College, and he's been playing each of the last 2 years with me. And one of the great thrills of my whole life is at times he has been my catcher. So, I mean, there's nothing better than being a pitcher on the mound, trying to get guys out and throwing to your own kid. It's just remarkable.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So you don't even have to throw any signs down. You know he knows what's coming.
I'll tell you what, I don't usually look. And the funny thing was, sometimes, don't tell this to the other teams, sometimes just for fun, because we're having fun out there, I shake off and I nod and I pretend like I'm really reading signs. Whatever. And over the last summer, he gave me one sign, and that was just when I was pretending to shake him off. And we went back to the bench after the inning, and he goes, "What'd you shake me off for?" I said, "I didn't even know you gave me a sign."
That's awesome. So what started with this whole Yankee podcast? How did it all come about?
The blog?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm an author. And before I was published, one of the things that they said that you needed to do in order to become publisher worthy was to have a name and to be someone that people recognize. Okay. And so I started writing for the blog. It's about the money. And I wrote for them for probably about 6 or 8 or 10 months. And then It's About the Money said they were going to shut down the blog and they weren't going to do it anymore. And I was disappointed with that because that was my outlet. And I was, starting to get a following. People were starting to read the stuff that I wrote through that blog. So I said, well, if you're going to shut it down, can I have it? Like, what would we have to do to have me take over? And this was my Andrew Carnegie moment or a Rockefeller moment. Instead of getting fired, I bought the company. And so the only thing they said was, you got to reach out. We want to, give it a new name. So It's About the Money became Start Spreading the News. And, that's where it all started.
Nice.
Gentlemen, any questions for Paul?
Yeah. So how long have you been, two-part, how long have you been doing that first? Can you tell our listeners? And also, for your second thing with being on the radio with Mac and Sports, how long have you been doing that for question number 2?
Yes. So the blog was just had its 3rd anniversary last October. So I guess it's about 3 years and 4 months old, something like that. But again, I've been writing for it's about the money or start spreading the news, I guess, at about 4 years now. And you can find us on startspreadingthenews.blog. That's where we are. And we put out brand new content at least 4 times a day. We have an article at 6, another one at 10, another one at 1, and then another one at 4. We have a staff of writers. They all do a great job. And then we do other fun things during the day. During the week, we have baseball card trivia at noon. We throw up a daily tweet every day. And on Wednesday nights, we have a Wednesday night classic. I put up a video of an old Yankee game. On Sunday nights, I put up a documentary of some sports, usually baseball themed topic, something like that. I've been with Mac and Jack, I don't know, almost since I think they started, maybe about 4 or 5 months now. And I'm usually their guest Saturday mornings. I take part in their debate show, and that gives us also a chance to talk Yankees baseball.
Nice.
All
right. Go ahead, Matt.
So, as a fellow blogger myself, I understand a thing or two about what good writing could do for you. And I got to ask you a question. What kind of engagements have you gotten over the 3 years that you've started with your blog?
What do you mean by engagements?
Like, has anyone ever contacted you to share your work? Have you made any connections through your blogs? Like,
oh, a ton. Yeah, that's how I reached. That's how Mac and Jack reached out to me. Again, I'm on the Bronx Beat podcast. I've done lots of visits on lots of other Yankee blogs and podcasts. I'm a member of the Internet Baseball Writers Association of America. And I also believe, since the blog has such a nice following and we have so many page views and people who read us, that when I was looking to get published, and I mentioned that I'm the editor-in-chief of a successful Yankees blog, that helped make me somewhat attractive to potential publishers. So I've been published a number of times now. I have a novel that came out about 1.5 years ago that won some awards. Called Scattering the Ashes, and there is some baseball in there, but it's not a baseball book, but there is a lot of good baseball little stories in there.
Nice.
And so the blog's done great things. The other nice thing is that same son who's my catcher, he runs the blog with me. So in addition to being able to write and express our opinions about the Yankees and share a lot of great content, it also gives me a chance to do something special with him.
Nice. Any memorable Yankee games that you've been to?
Oh, these are great questions. I love you guys. There have been many. I guess the best game I ever went to was Game 6 of the '96 World Series. I went with my dad. We were there when the Yankees won it all, sitting off on the first base side, and that was awesome.
Third, Hayes.
Yeah, Hayes makes the catch. We watched Wade Boggs on the horse. That year, I was at a number of big games. I was at the Jeter game with the Jeffrey Meyer homer.
Oh boy! Here
Oh
we go.
yeah!
Nah,
Grab that ball, kid. Did they sign him yet?
I'm still shaking my head on that one.
Oh,
I still see Tony Tarasco yelling. He stole the ball. He stole it.
Oh yeah, the way he was pointing and yelling, I really thought he was going to go after the umpire. I mean, really go after him because he was so enraged. Now, if there was instant replay, then that call is definitely out.
Yeah, he's an out.
That's an out.
Yep.
That's an out. And guess where I was that year?
Same place.
No, not at in the stadium. 96 opening day in the snowstorm, petted against the Kansas City Royals. I was out in the right field bleachers in I think the last row.
I loved the old stadium.
Yeah, and then you hear the old Bob Shepard, exchange your ticket for another game. So me and my friend looked at each other. I said, what are we going to get? So we got the Seattle game. Dwight Gooden pitches his no-hitter. And Jared Williams makes that great catch, and I think that was the first out, if I'm not mistaken, when he made that catch.
That's phenomenal.
I was opening day from 86 to about 93 every year. I remember.
I've never been to opening day.
That's how many opening day. I remember Steve Sachs being a Yankee. He had struck out with the bases loaded. It was against the White Sox one year. Was opening day, and it's funny how they do all these opening days. It used to be Kansas City almost all the time, and then they started changing it to like every year it was somebody different. Back, well, 93 was when they started really getting better, and it was hard to get tickets. And that was the whole start of the Yankee, with the, I can't even remember his name anymore.
Can't remember who.
The first manager they had.
Buck Showalter.
Yeah, there you go.
Buck Show.
Buck.
Yeah, Buck.
I'm surprised he's not managing again.
That season with the Orioles really killed his career. It really did, and
That's
also
why he came back to the Yankees.
No, he's making the money working for the network.
for MLB Network. Yeah,
They kept him around. They're not. I know what they're going to do. Okay, Aaron, you're done. Next. They haven't signed Aaron Boone yet. Why not?
That's a great question. I think they're committed to Aaron Boone. So that just might be something where he knows there's a deal, maybe a handshake, and that the deal's coming and they're focusing on the team right now. To be honest, I don't know the inner machinations of why he wouldn't have his deal yet, but everything that Brian Cashman says seems to indicate that he's very committed to Aaron Boone.
Nice.
I have a tough question for you, Doc, since you're a Yankee fan as the host here.
Uh-oh.
With Aaron Judge always getting hurt every year. After he gets his 10+ million, whatever it is this year, do they give him the max long-term deal, or do they give him less of the money and more years because of the injury prone that he has every year?
If I were the Yankees, I don't think he becomes a free agent until he's 31 years old. I'd go year to year and see what it looks like when he's 31 years old. But I agree with you. Sometimes when we talk baseball and when we write baseball,
Mm-hmm.
and when we talk honestly about the players and our perspectives of their performance on the field, people sometimes mistake when you're giving an honest critique of a player's performance, or the honest debate this winter about whether or not you would sign DJ LeMahieu and how much is he worth? Is he a $20 million ball player? Now, obviously, it came out that he wasn't. He's a $15 million ball player. That's what the Yankees got him for, which was a great deal. But is he worth 6 years? He's going to be 33 years old, et cetera. But sometimes when you say, like, I'm against signing DJ LeMahieu for $20 million a year long-term, people think, how could you not like DJ LeMahieu? It has nothing to do with like. And how could you not love Aaron Judge? Aaron Judge is great. He's everything you want in a ball player. The question is he the player that you invest, $25-30 million in long-term when he's not able really to stay on the field? So that becomes the big question. And so if I were the Yankees, I would put off that decision as long as I can.
Yes, because I'm the person saying you're most reliable by your durability. If you're playing 150 every year, then you're going to get the money in a contract in the years. But if you're missing 60 games every year because of a tweak here, a tweak there, you can't go long term with the money. So I agree. That's why. Same thing with Stanton. He's hurt every year also, but they made that trade with the Marlins, so he's already got his money. So there's nothing they can do with him.
Yeah, and he had a chance to opt out this year,
and he did it.
He did, and he wants to play, like everybody says, they want to play on a contender. And right now, Toronto has knocked on the door, and they've answered very heavily this offseason.
Yep,
and are a threat to the Yankees in the East. And I said that every year about Toronto. They start out like a house of fire, and then the flame dies out after the second half with that team. But I don't see that this year. And they're knocking hard on the Yankees' door. Now, you're talking about injuries to not just Judge. It's been Judge, Stanton, Sanchez, and it's almost all of the same people
every year
for the last 3 years now. Is it the training staff, or these guys are just too big muscular, or they're overworking themselves?
I think it's them.
I think it's a combination of training and just bad luck, because I did hear a report from my uncle Anthony, who's a major Yankee fan himself. He said that the Yankees had a training staff that got fired because of the number of injuries they had in 2019, which, if you were keeping track, 44 injuries in 2019.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. These guys we either hurt at the beginning of the year. Well, the 1 year we had it all, basically, and they all got hurt like at the second half, and the same players got hurt again in the first half of the next season. So I'm like, there's something going on. That was like the Mets. they had all the same guys getting hurt with the same training staff. So I was like, wait a minute, something's going on here. Something's not right. So Paul, is it definitely a mix of training too hard or not hard enough, or the regiments changed even last year because of the stoppage in play, short season? You started on time and then you stopped, and I guess nobody was training except for a couple guys, maybe.
Or not training under the team's guidance.
Right. Yeah.
They did get a brand new training staff before last year, and
Okay.
a lot of guys who are a lot of people, not all men. I mean, they brought in Rachel Balkovic to be a hitting coach. A lot of people who know a lot about training and the human body and physiological and stuff like that. So I actually am optimistic that the new training staff is going to make some positive changes, hopefully with a full spring training. Hopefully they gave the players a lot of regimens to follow over the winter. That maybe we're behind it, or maybe that's behind us. Maybe the Yankees are going to be able to go forward and stay healthy. On the other hand, sometimes there's just players who are injury prone, right? That just can never seem to stay healthy.
And that's Stanton.
And it could be Judge, and it could be Aaron Hicks.
Yeah.
And Clint Frazier, he's had problems staying healthy also. And Gary Sanchez.
That's when that ball was hit. I think was it right field.
Yeah,
he got injured.
it
Was against the White Sox and Tigers, and he hit that casing in the outfield where he got hurt. So the running joke is going to be on WFAN, because that's I listen to Boomer and Geo every day, and I get a crack out of them. Where's the bet this year? What's the money line on what body part Stanton's going to go down with? And it's like, I know I'm going to hear it sooner. I mean, he was hitting the ball well in the beginning of the year. He was hitting home runs. The opening series against Washington, he was just, when he's on fire, he's a great hitter. And he's got to stay healthy. And where do we go next as a team? We need another starter. It's, Corey Kluber, check. J Happ, we just went to Minnesota, pending a physical.
Garrett Cole, check.
Well, now we need. Well, and it unfortunately looks like we're not going to get no more Tanaka Tuesdays in the Bronx. So, where do we go from here? Because I was just listening to MLB Network on Sirius XM on the way in, and they're talking about starting pitchers, and they were talking about the Mets. Do the Yankees go now with a plan B? Does Bauer get lured to the Yankees? Do we go with a plan B and somebody else that's kind of so-so?
All right, so if it were me, I think what the Yankees definitely need is a number 2 starter. I know a lot of people are saying, you have Severino, he could be your number 2 starter, and maybe he can be, but again, he's going to be out till at least mid-season or somewhere around there. And he hasn't been great since the first half of 2018, which is a long time ago, especially in baseball years. That was the last time he was really dominant.
He was dominating. Yeah, when he first started, he was actually better than Tanaka that year, if I'm not mistaken.
But that was a long time ago, and I don't think you can rely on a guy to come back Tommy John, especially in that first year. So yeah, he could be great and he could be really good, but for a team that has World Series aspirations, to say that you're going to rely on Luis Severino coming back and being dominant, I think that's a big stretch. I think Corey Kluber is going to be phenomenal, but again, I think he's going to have a little bit of growing pains. He's missed some time the last few years, and he knows how to pitch, and he's great, and he's pitching for one last big payday because he signed the 1-year deal with the Yankees. But again, I think he's going to have to come along slowly. The other guys are for the most part also all question marks, all the kids that they're going to have pitching. So they need somebody who's going to give them a lot of innings, who's going to be a number 2 type of pitcher. And there really aren't any of those guys out there in free agency. And so the Yankees are going to have to try to become creative and make a deal with some teams and look for ways to find that salary relief that they need to do, because they want to stay under the luxury tax.
Now, is that why DJ, we know, wanted to be a Yankee? He took the less money. Now, was the less money an indication of luring somebody big here, like a Trevor Bauer, maybe?
Oh, I'd love if they got Trevor Bauer. I think he's going to be too expensive. I'm not sure how much money the Yankees have left over. Somewhere around $15 to $20 million, I think, and you have to leave room for bonuses or maybe mid-season acquisitions. So I don't think they have Trevor Bauer kind of money unless they were able to make some type of a trade. Now, one crazy idea I've had would be they have a lot of money locked up in the bullpen, in the back end of the bullpen with Chapman, Zach Britton. Zach Britton has proven he can be a closer. And Aroldis Chapman's done a great job as a Yankee, and I don't hold the playoffs against him because anything can happen in the playoffs.
That's two.
Yes, that's two in a row. But maybe some team would have some interest in Aroldis Chapman, and then if the Yankees could trade him and use Zach Britton as your closer, I think with all the great Yankee young arms that you can piece together a bullpen. Teams do that all the time with unproven guys who can rise to the occasion, pitching only an inning or two at a time and just throwing their best stuff, especially as they break into the big leagues. We've seen that with countless pitchers.
Rivera.
So I think you could piece together the bullpen, and but I don't think you can piece together a number 2 starter. And so I think the Yankees first need salary relief, and then they need to make a trade and try to lure a solid pitcher from a team that feels they're out of it.
We almost had one until they mentioned Gleyber Torres as a name, and the Yankees was like, forget it. With Castillo over Cincinnati, they were asking for Clint Frazier, Andujar, I think Clark Schmidt, and then they mentioned Gleyber Torres. Then the Yankees hit the brakes on that and went, oh, no, we don't think so.
That's correct.
All right, before we continue, I want to stop real quick. I want to throw condolences out to the LA Dodger family.
Oh, yes.
And the Atlanta Brave family for the loss of Don Sutton, number 324 win over his 23-year career with the Dodgers.
He was an Angel as well.
The Angels, the Brewers, and a long-time Braves announcer with the old Skip Carey and Pete Van Buren. So I want to throw out another
great. Yep.
He was 75 years old.
So I want to shout out to his family. Another one, 2 Dodgers in the last 2 weeks.
Yep.
We want to throw a shout out to them.
Nice.
So, Paul, I want to ask you a particular question. This is going to be a very hard one to answer. Baseball is supposed to start on time amidst a pandemic. How do you see this season going out? Do you think that there are going to be some last-minute changes to the length of the season? Do you see a big outbreak going on in a couple of ball clubs? What do you see? How do you predict this season going?
Wow. Yeah, that's something I can't answer. There's so many unknowns. I mean, like I said, I'm an elementary school principal, so I deal with trying to keep a school and teachers and kids healthy. And we have lots of protocols in place and procedures, and we're doing a great job. How that plays itself out in the spring is something that we talk about all the time. We have students on hybrid. We have students who are fully remote. We have a shortened day. We're not doing lunch in school.
Right.
And there are questions that, like I say, we talk about all the time. When do we change? When do we try to get back to normal? And there's so many unknowns right now that we can't even predict that at our level. So for me to be able to predict what Major League Baseball does, that's way beyond me. I have no idea. I'm hoping that the vaccine allows lots of people to get healthy and to not have such concern, because they would be vaccinated against it. And hopefully with that, they can introduce the season safely and the players can play safely. The fans can be safe and it all works. But I have no idea what that's going to look like.
I think what they're going to do is what they did in this extra spring training back in July. I think they're going to have the 40-man club. So you're going to have your backup and consistency plan just in case a couple guys get the virus. They're going to have your other 15-man crew somewhere else, local by. If somebody gets it, they're going to put them up to the club like they did in July.
Well, I think
that's what they're going to do.
Well, that was crazy getting rid of these minor league teams, but all they did was move the Trenton team over to Somerset.
Yeah,
the Patriots are now the Yankees affiliate, but all the other minor league teams are now be part of the MLB Draft League, which is the Trenton Thunder is one of them.
That's right.
And we work hand in hand with Miracle League of Mercer County. Everybody, give a shout out to the Commissioner Schweck and the voice Andy
Mercer
Santoro.
County alum who lives in Mercer County.
Yes, and they do great. And we've had Jeff Hurley, the GM of Trenton Thunder, on our show last year. A great guy, and hope to have him back to talk about that MLB draft league. So we're going to see people who are going to be coming up to the bigs who are very talented, and it's going to be a crazy baseball season. That's all I know. It is going to be a lot of work. There's a lot of players going to be involved. I'm glad it's starting in time, and unfortunately, last spring I lost a friend I went to Lafayette High School with in Brooklyn, Anthony. Anthony was a photographer for the New York Post, if anybody read that. And they had him on the billboard at the outside Yankee Stadium, and his cutout at Shea and everything in the photo booth. So shout out to Anthony and his Anthony Causey, who was Joe Causey's nephew from Hot 97. So shout out to Anthony's family. He caught the virus when he was down at spring training in Florida. I think he was photographing with the Mets down there. But all said, and hope we get a better 2021. I'm just looking for a full season with no hiccups as bumps in the road. You know, we want a full season because look what happened last year. The 60 games, it's anybody's game.
Yeah.
Do we go, Paul? Do we go with the extra playoffs? Or do we go back to normal, you think?
If you made me the commissioner, I'd go back to normal. I'm a
That's
less
what
of
I
a
want.
fan of expanded playoffs.
Right.
I think expanded playoffs, though, create interest in more cities. Then there's more games, obviously, in the postseason, which, creates revenue. I think every time, I don't think there's ever been a time, has there, except in 1981 when a sport has expanded playoffs and then brought them smaller after that. I doubt it.
Yankees and Brewers, when the Brewers were a real American League team back in the day. I was sitting up in the upper deck freezing.
I think
Were you there at the game when Reggie and Oscar Gamble homered?
I don't know which one I was at.
I was at that game too. Yeah,
I was sitting in the upper deck freezing with my friend. I lived in Brooklyn, and we hopped on. I forgot where we took the D to 4 train up to Yankee Stadium from where we were, because we had the N train right around the corner from my house. Was actually in my backyard. Was the train stop in Brooklyn? So we used to just hop on the train and go.
I think the expanded playoffs depends on how many games are played this season.
I don't like it. Well, you know what? As a Yankee fan, and Paul would know this, and so would I, if there's no expanded playoffs this past season, the Yankees and Astros don't even make it.
No.
That's true.
They're not even in the hunt. They were done. They were done. So where do you guys see it? What do you think?
I mean, expanded playoffs were fun to some degree last year, but I feel like you got to remember that we saw the Astros get into the playoffs with an under 500 record last year, and they made some noise all the way to the ALCS. So
yeah, they started to scare me a little bit.
they scared a lot of people a little bit. But expanded playoffs, they're fun to some degree, but I feel like if you're going to do a full season, there should be no consolation to those who were kind of thrown off by the timing of everything. If you're going to do a full season, I think you do go back to the old format: 3 division winners, 2 wild cards.
I think what should happen is if you play 100 plus, no expanded. Under 100, then you go back to it.
Okay, here we go. We're going to ask the all-important question now, because we heard it on the way in. Designated hitter in the National League, does it happen next year?
No.
No.
I don't like it.
No.
And why do I like it? And Paul might agree. You're saving the starting pitcher from any injury, running to first, getting hit with a pitch.
Please, but you could run off the mound and get hurt.
But you could tweak a hamstring running to first.
But they hit in college.
This ain't college.
Doesn't matter.
And pitchers hardly get hits anyway.
Doesn't matter.
Well, unless you're
Pitchers hardly
Bartolo
hit
Colon.
anywhere.
Unless you're Bartolo Colon hitting home runs. I don't know.
National League. I like National League baseball. Having 9 players, they hit. I'm sorry.
National League Baseball was in the American League when we had Billy Ball.
Please.
Nobody plays Billy Ball anymore. Nobody bunts and steals anymore. What's going on here? You'll never see any now that this whole thing, Nobody's going to be Ricky Henderson's stolen base record. Nobody's going to be Pete Rose's 4,000 something hits. Nobody's doing it. There is nobody. The only guy that came close to the home run record, if he didn't, go down the wrong path, would have been Strawberry. Besides Bonds, I think Darryl would have been the one. That's my honest opinion. He had such a great home run swing.
No, he was pretty. It was the way he swung. That was yeah.
You remember he almost hit one out of Yankee Stadium, but it hit the facade on the upper deck in right field.
And I remember when the Yankees, I think it was in '98, when they were playing those few games in Shea, and Strawberry hit a home run, and they brought the apple up all the way up just before the Met logo. That was awesome.
That was Darryl's like, what's going on here? I'm not a Met. So where do we see the future of the game? They want to take the rule book and go like this, toss it over their head, rip out a few pages, add some new. Where does the game go from here now with all this social media, with games on Facebook Live, and
oh yeah,
where do we go from here, Paul?
The fact that they are giving more access to games like Facebook Live and on YouTube and however they're doing it,
Right.
I have no problem with that. I think the more you get the game to people, the better. What I don't like as a traditionalist in regard to baseball is when they want to change the rules and they want to reconfigure the game and come up with these gimmicks to make the game supposedly faster. But when you do that, you change the history of the game. I think one of the things that happens with the NFL is it becomes very hard to look at different eras of football and compare them, because they change the rules so often. And what was a catch in one year doesn't seem to be a catch in the next year, and you have passing years and years when it's better to be running and the game. And you could say that the game evolves and they're doing that to create interest, and the NFL has a lot of interest. So maybe it works. But with baseball, one of the beautiful things is the game is still the same game that everybody played 100 and some odd years ago. Granted, there's changes in conditioning and equipment and the DH, and they lowered the pitcher's mound in 69 or whatever. But primarily the game hasn't changed. So I'm not a big fan of you bring in a pitcher, he has to face 3 batters minimum. I don't like that. I don't like 7-inning double headers. I don't like starting with a man on second base in extra innings. All those things just they change the game, and I don't really see any of the good that comes from any of that.
Yeah, they change it to speed it up, but then you got the instant replay, and then you got to get the umpires together. That's a waste.
Oh, yeah. I understand why they did it because of the pandemic this past season, but if everything goes back to normal, it's not going to be this year.
It shouldn't be changed at all.
Let's
play the game.
The man on second rule really threw a lot of people off, and it really just takes away from the game and how much of a grind it really is. So I wasn't really crazy about that rule.
Now, when they started that, though, a lot of teams were butting the man over to third base. That's when they were butting.
Yeah, that was about it. That's all they did.
Yeah, but that was when analytics started to come into play too. People started playing the analytic game, and analytics that's killed baseball. I
don't like that. I never like that.
Aaron Boone.
Don't get me started with the analytics stuff. I'll throw this iPad right out the window.
I don't like that stuff.
And that's what killed the game. That is what killed the game, and that's how the Red Sox cheated, supposedly. But I wasn't in the dugout or in the.
It's the launch angle too. They, instead of swinging about this, they're doing about like this, uppercutting. Let's see the ball go. Boom. Instead of line drive.
Yeah, just leave it alone. It's like that when I play my PlayStation baseball game, MLB The Show. They're doing launch angles on that too. I just shake my head. I'm like, what am I doing?
I thought you were coming out of retirement to play softball.
I don't know. I'd rather play hardball.
I'd
rather play with Dr. Paul here.
Right.
I still got it for 54 years old, brother. I don't know if I can run as fast as I used to. But I played in a league like that. It was in Queens. And our uniforms were like the Florida Seminoles. They had the Seminole thing on here. And, of course, I wear number 31. Nobody could wear that number. I did that because of Dave Winfield. He was my favorite Yankee.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, he was... What a gun in right field. Nobody ran on that guy.
So, Doc, since I'm going off the bandwagon here. So, tell me about your league that you play on, your adult league. When do you guys play?
We play Sunday mornings. This will be my 3rd season, so I played 2 years so far. And like I say, it's all Northern Jersey teams. It's a 35 and older league. Wood bat. We play 9 innings. It's real baseball, and all the regular baseball rules apply. Stealing, bunting, umpires, balls and strikes, the whole thing. It's real baseball. So,
do you guys play one game or doubleheader?
I like saying that I could. I like saying I could pitch a complete game, and I've thrown a couple of complete games. So if you remember a couple of years ago, the Yankees didn't have any pitcher that could get through the 5th inning.
Oh yeah,
I was really proud because during that period of time when every Yankee pitcher was pitching less than 5 innings,
He was going.
I threw 9. I said, they should sign me. I could give them 9 innings. I did it.
Yeah, I used to play an adult league like yourself in Mercer County, but we were doing doubleheaders on Sundays.
Oh my god!
And I said, you know what? In that heat, I can't do it no more. So now I just do you can call me old man, but I do the underhand softball because it's weeknights after work, and I just have to hit the underhand pitch.
Yes. I still play softball too. We haven't played any double headers, but what I was driving at, it took me a long time to get there, was I kept telling them this year, let's get some double headers since the season was shortened because we started late because of COVID. And I said, I'll go both ends. I want to see if I could throw 18 innings, but it never happened.
How fast do you throw? What was your
No. All right, so here's the story. I'm not very good. I pitch, but I'm not very good. So
65, 70. It's all right.
It's probably it's probably there, but I'm not throwing 90 and I'm not throwing 80. I can tell you that.
Now you're talking 90 miles an hour. You're on the mountain in that stadium that's behind me. Have you ever done a fantasy? Did you go to Yankee fantasy camp? Did you ever do that?
Someday.
I know. I want to do that so bad.
Right now I can't take a week off in February and go pretend to be
with school. Yeah.
yeah.
Unless it's during winter recess or something, right?
Correct.
Well, that's my dream right there. I go to Tampa, and I read the whole thing, and they put you up in a hotel just like an MLB player. They give you the whole works.
Yeah, it's like that.
Yep.
And you train with the players and all that stuff.
Yeah, I'd love to go down there, see Mickey Rivers and all those guys, man.
Oh my goodness, that's a dream.
Hey, dreams could come true. Could happen to you. No, I'm singing Sinatra. What am I doing? Sinatra's from up your way.
Yeah, he's from Hoboken. We're a little north of there, but yep.
Northern Jersey. I'm only out here 6 years. I'm original Brooklynite. You can hear my accent.
So we're in North Jersey, out by Rutherford?
North of Rutherford.
Okay.
Paramus? Everybody knows Paramus.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's Bergen County. So,
okay.
I'm a principal in the next town over, which is Ridgewood.
Okay.
And then I live a few towns over from there.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah, everything's different, and every township has got different rules, and with this whole with this clown governor. But
yeah, because
I'm sorry, I'm not getting into.
Yeah,
I don't get political. I just
Yeah, so I live like 10 minutes out of Trenton. So I live in Hamilton Township. So I'm like 10 minutes from the state capital of Trenton. I'm in the township area.
Nice.
You can run for governor. Hello, governor.
Yeah.
I might just do it next year.
So, Paul, I have another question. You look at the Yankees; they got LeMahieu back, they got Corey Kluber, but you see the Blue Jays drop a bombshell and they get George Springer. The Rays lose Blake Snell, which is a big loss for their pitching. How do you see the AL East planning out, and do you see it in the Yankees' favor?
I think if the Yankees address the need of getting another starter, I think that they're the odds-on easy favorite in the American League East. I do think Toronto is going to be very tough. They've got great young talent, and those guys kill the Yankees, it seems. Whenever they play them, the Yankees don't do very well against Toronto in recent years. But I still think the Yankees probably are the better team. You guys were saying at the top, or maybe before we went on the air, how the longer the season goes, the more it'll benefit the Yankees. And if they can stay healthy, I think that would be true.
Right. It's all about staying healthy and your pitching staff.
We had another signing last night in the National League East
Who?
by the Nationals. John Lester.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about
But
that.
the Phillies ain't doing nothing. So that's why I'm not talking about them.
Yeah, they got Lester, then they got Schwarber. And
Schwarber.
who else did they get?
I don't know, but we're hibernating.
Hibernating.
Yeah, we're hibernating.
They're going to be. It's going to be a battle again. It almost was a 4-team race last year with the Mets.
It's
Phillies.
going to be no. It's going to be Atlanta.
It's going to be
Atlanta Nationals.
and the Mets.
Atlanta Nationals. Mets.
Yeah.
Then then the Phillies. Actually, I could put the Marlins in fourth. Maybe the Phillies.
Oh, they
fifth.
got Castillo too. The Wellington Castillo. They signed somebody else.
Hey, Carl, one of the guys I want the Yankees to get is Aaron Nola. I say to the Phillies, like, hey, guess what, guys? Even your fans are saying it. You're not going to be a contender.
No, he's the number 2.
Yeah, I know. I want him on the Yankees. Maybe convince the Phillies they've lost a lot of money, right? What didn't the Roner lose billions last year? Or
give me. So you get Nola. I'll take.
You can have Andujar.
No, I don't want Andy Hart. I want the Lemme Sheen. I want DJ. Give me DJ and Britton.
No.
Give me DJ and Britton for Nola.
DJ said he wants to stay a Yankee.
We'll switch your managers. You want Boone, and we'll take
Girardi
I'll
back.
take Girardi. I want Girardi. I just want Girardi.
We want Girardi back.
And I'll take Girardi.
The stat, I don't know if you heard.
What's that?
On MLB Network.
What's that?
The Phillies bullpen has been rated the worst
Okay, I told you.
bullpen since World War II.
Yeah. So listen to this. So last year,
70 blown saves.
yeah. So we're
70.
Yeah. So we were
In
doing
a 60-game
yeah.
season.
So we were doing the show. And I think it was July when the Phillies were playing the Yankees. Right. The Yankees were losing like 11-3. Okay, and then all Sal was saying, "Oh, they're hitting a home run." I'm like hitting my head during the show because they're gonna blow. The lead, and they lost. They won by 3
The
runs.
Phillies bullpen
Yeah, they're
was
horrible.
sitting at an ERA of 7.48.
Yeah, they're horrible. They're horrible.
That's bad. That's
The
really,
1930
really bad.
Phillies were the worst.
That's why they didn't make the playoffs last year because of the bullpen.
And it's
I think they had like 15 blown saves.
easy.
They're horrible.
Somebody get them a Red Bull.
They're horrible. They're horrible.
Well, what if they got injured? You got Sir DD.
Huh?
You got Sir DD at short.
No, they don't.
No, yes, indeedy.
He's not signed.
Oh, he ain't coming to the Yankees anymore.
I'm telling you, you're making me mad. I'm ranting here over how horrible they are. It's bad enough I had it with the Eagles.
Hey,
Now-
we'll give you a whole bunch of our pitchers. We'll give you Clark Schmidt.
There you go.
We'll give you a couple of the other prospects.
You can have Clint Frazier.
No.
Clint Frazier.
He was named one of the top 10 left fielders in baseball this year.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Runner up for a Gold Glove.
Yep.
No, I'm good. I want Benintendi.
No, we'll talk to the Red Sox.
I think that's in the works.
Benintendi.
Yeah,
I don't know why J.D. Martinez would even sign back with the Red Sox. They got nobody on the team. Is Chris Sale ever coming back this year?
Yeah, he is, but they're reducing his work limit, his workload.
No, he's going to ask for a trade.
I don't know.
Yeah.
He's
I don't
finished.
know.
I don't know.
I'm happy for hockey season.
Let's go Devils.
I'm ready. At least, yeah.
How's it feel to beat the Rangers? Feels good. Oh, Jack Hughes.
Doesn't matter. We're still.
I was watching Taylor Hall last night on the Sabres. I was like, what's going on here? That don't look right in that uniform.
We're still in first place, though.
Doesn't look right. Taylor Hall. I almost bought a Taylor Hall jersey.
We're
And
in
they
first
traded.
place. We're in
Save me
first
money.
place. We're in first place.
Now, let's get back to baseball because
Go ahead.
Yeah.
right now it looks like Oakland hasn't done a thing, and they won the division last year. That's kind of crazy.
Mm.
They haven't signed Semyon, which he might be going to the Dodgers. Let's go to the National League and how the West was won, because it's going to be a shootout out there between the Padres and Dodgers now. Dodgers now have a legitimate foe in that division. And the Padres are just like, here we go, all in.
They got Joe Musgrave, which is
Here we go.
a big 4 or 5.
Yeah, the Mets were involved with that trade. I don't know who. They got some left-hander out of that deal. But the Mets have improved. They got Lindor, Carrasco. Lindor's going to be the face of that team along with Pistol Pete. The Mets are going to have a good team. I see a wild card.
Yeah, if not this year, somewhere in the near future, I think the Padres are going to give the Dodgers a run for their money. Like you said, they're pitching is nasty. Along with you, Darvish, they got Blake Snell, they got Chris Paddock, they got what's his face? They got Joe Musgrave, and they got Dinelson Neal, I think his name is.
Yeah, well, they just lost Kirby Yates. He signed with the who did he go with? The Blue Jays?
Yeah, he went to Toronto.
Watch out. You know who's going to be a sleeper? They had a mediocre past season. Watch out for the Brew Crew.
You think so?
Yeah, they didn't do too much. A lot of people were hurt.
Let's see. Oh yeah, they finished 5 games out.
Yeah,
They made the wild card.
They made a wild card.
You see, this is what I'm talking about, and Paul could
Chime in.
say definitely, because look at the Reds. They were 31-29. The Brewers,
if Bauer doesn't resign with the Reds, I don't think they're not doing nothing.
yeah, but look at all the
Watch out for the
teams
Brewers.
here.
Watch out for the Brewers.
We're forgetting about the Donnie baseball out there in Miami.
No. It's Dodgers. It's Dodgers, Padres automatically in. Atlanta. Watch out for Milwaukee, and maybe the Nats or the Mets will make the fifth wild card. I only see one team out of the Central making.
Oh yeah, we'll ask Paul. Who do you see? You said the East was Toronto and the Yankees, right?
Yep.
Okay, and what do you got for the West?
Oh boy. You were saying that the Oakland A's haven't really done much, and they never seem to do much, and yet they always seem to be able to put a quality team out there. So you always have to worry about them. In the Central, the Chicago White Sox,
Yeah, they're hot.
really good core, and they're making some moves, and that's a team to look out for.
Yeah, the division winner last year was Minnesota. They really didn't do anything this year either, except for just get hap. And then you got
Did Cruz resign?
who?
Nelson
Cruz.
I don't know if Nelson Cruz ever re-signed. I don't believe he did.
Minnesota is just playoff.
I thought he retired. Isn't he like 40 years old?
Yeah, but he still hits tons of homers. Let's look him up.
Nelson, the thing with the Minnesota Twins, the Twins are just playoff.
No, nobody signed him yet. He's still a free agent.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Ming, let's give a round of applause to Ming for helping us out in this great shared universe podcast studios here in downtown Eatontown. And
Yeah,
he's just
that
phenomenal.
Central's gonna be tough. I only see one team making that.
Well, the White Sox, but
that Central's tough.
is Pineda still with that team?
What, Michael Pineda?
Another Yankee bust?
With Minnesota?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Jesus. Oh, the Yankees always whip them anyway.
Yeah, Pineda.
Nelson Cruz would be a neat guy for the Yankees to get.
I think Michael Pineda is still with them.
I missed Walk the Parrot. Oh, Edwin Canelcion.
Oh, he was with the White Sox last year.
You know why I can't wait for the Yankee season to start, Paul? You got him, Mr. John Sterling, with those wonderful home run calls. That guy's going to jump out of the booth at 82 years old one day. You get so excited. What's your favorite Yankee home run call by Mr. Sterling?
Oh boy, if my voice will work, I could even do it. I don't know if I could pull it off, but there's so many. I loved swung on and hit to deep left field. It is high, it is far, it is gone. Bernie goes boom.
Oh yeah,
that's his voice.
Burn, baby, burn.
Burn, baby, burn. Or
he gets
by Godzilla. That was always a good one, and I loved when Mark Teixeira. You're on the mark, Teixeira. He hits a text message.
I don't like his Carlos Stan one. I
see. I like
Pablo Giancarlo.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go. Carlos Stanton swung on and drilled to deep right center field. It is high. It is far. It is gone. It is first Yankee at bat. Giancarlo. Non si può stopparlo.
What the heck does that mean?
Antonian home run. A 2-run blaster right center
mean?
in his first Yankee.
He's trying to be cute with the Giancarlo Stanton's name.
See, he was talking out why
Michael Stan. Why do we call him John Carl? Why did he change his name? What is going on?
It's Mike Stan. He was talking out
Change
way.
his name to protect the innocent. What?
He was talking out way over 35 years ago when he was talking that way to Dominique Wilkins when he was announcing the Hawks.
Seriously?
Yes.
What would he say to Dominique Wilkins?
No, as it was This is how he would speak with Dominique. You know, they're like the verb.
Oh, so he was doing that in basketball?
Yeah, he was. He worked for Ted Turner for TBS. He used to do the Hawk games.
Well, thank God he didn't do
Oh my
any
God.
WCW.
Yep.
that's
television.
right, Ted Turner for WCW.
Yep, he was doing. Yeah, so he was announcing the Hawk games, and then he left that job to work for Steinbrenner with the Yankees.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm a big John Sterling fan. Love him. Here's one more. Gardner plants one. I mean, that's just great.
Oh, speaking of which,
It's a Gardy party.
here we go. Play that, baby. I love this.
And the right-hander deals. Swung on, driven to deep right. It is high, it is far, it is gone. It's a grand slam. Let the Gardy party begin.
There you go.
Brett Gardner plants one in the right field seats. It is a grand salami.
Grand
And
salami.
Hey man, can you give us John Sterling, Dominique Wilkins?
Oh, you're really going way
Yeah.
back now before he was in baseball.
Yeah, John Sterling as Atlanta Hawks play-by-play announcer.
Oh my God.
Here it is. Here it is. Here it is.
Oh,
Man.
How bad do you think Jared Porter being fired hurts the Mets and their chances?
I
of
knew
winning
you
the
were going to
World
go there.
I had to bring that up because it was one of the major breaking stories in baseball.
I know, and I heard something funny today. Somebody says the Mets were going to call Anthony Weiner to be the GM now.
Here it is. Here it is. I think
Oh,
he has
he
it up.
found it?
He's got him on here. He's got him on here.
I'll keep looking. I can't find any.
Okay.
All right.
Wait, they might have pulled him because he's a Yankee guy now. Here's another question, Paul. Do you like Michael K. better in the TV booth or on radio?
Well, you guys are asking some of the great questions of all time. I like Michael K. better on his radio show than in the play-by-play booth.
Thank you.
I like him on his radio show too.
I'd rather have him with Sterling because let me tell you.
Here it is. Here it is. I think he
Here
got
we
it.
go. Here we go.
He got it. He
He's a
got
man
it.
after my own heart.
We had to get through this ad though.
Because if it wasn't for Paul O'Neill and those guys, he wouldn't know what he's talking about. I hope he's not
Here
listening.
it is.
Double gets the car. All right. Here's Meek. This is what they want. 10 seconds in the game. Dominique goes past Cook Robinson. The jumper is short. Scott Hastings knocked it in with 5 seconds.
That was him.
Wow.
That was starting with Dominique.
It still sounds the same.
Yep.
He sounds the same.
Yeah, he's great. And when he was partnered with Kay, that was just magic. They played off each other so well, and the timing was good, and that was just beautiful.
Thank you, Ming. Thank you.
Thank you, Ming.
And it's funny because, she's great, Susan Woman. Don't get me wrong. Georgie's girl, as they call her, because, and everybody knows it was her that got Yogi and George back together again. And that was the her being in the Yankee booth. They don't get me wrong. They have great announcers. I think the Mets have the top. I think with Darling, Keith, and I forgot who the other guy is. But
No.
who's
Garrett-
one guy that gets under everybody's skin?
Joe Buck.
There you go.
Joe
Garrett Coon.
Buck.
Garrett Coon.
No, Joe Buck.
No, I was saying it's
I
Garrett
don't
Coon.
want no Yankee haters announcing any Yankee games.
Well,
keep them in St. Louis.
Well, here's the thing. That's how he is when he does the Eagles games and the Phillies games. It would always be McCarver would back up the Phillies because he was a backup catcher for the Phillies. McCarver.
Didn't we just lose somebody?
Who?
Did Alida left, right?
He's
Did
on
he-
the Major League Network. I don't remember him doing any games for Yes last
Network.
year.
Yeah, I don't think he's on. Yes, I think it's just with the network.
I thought he went back to the Mets.
No.
I thought he was with. I thought he went back to the Mets.
Oh.
I ran into Al Leiter a few years ago when I was working at PNC Art Center. He comes to a lot of the country shows there. Oh, he's from Tom's River. There you go. Look at that.
Tom's River, yeah, New Jersey guy.
Another New Jersey guy. Yeah, a lot of guys from Jersey, New Jersey.
Oh, so if you don't, because you lived in Brooklyn.
Oh.
Because you don't.
Yeah,
you
well,
were-
I went to the same high school
Well, I'm
as
saying you
Johnny
were in
Franco,
Brooklyn.
but I didn't play with
you
him.
were in Brooklyn, but we were. I think our Times River Little League team won. I think 2 World Series, the Little League World Series twice, or we only won it
I
one.
know they did it once. They still have the sign down there.
Yeah, we won. We beat Korea, right, or China? Who did we beat?
To be honest, I don't know, but I think that was the year that Todd Frazier was on the team, right? Didn't he play for that team? And then he went out to the field and stood next
Yeah,
to
we
you.
won. Mm-hmm.
And he didn't sign. Did he retire this year? He's not signing with anybody.
Yeah, we won.
The Todd father. That's another great Sterling.
Former
call.
Rutgers alum.
Yep, Little League. Yep.
Oh, there he is. Look
Yep.
at that.
Yep.
Well, look, he,
Yeah,
looks, he,
yep.
he looks the same.
Yeah, 88. Yep, we won. Yep.
We got 4 minutes to go, boys, and we're done. Well, that was a fast hour.
It was.
Yeah, that was enjoyable. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Well, before you go, your book I saw about the Yankees. Give a fast description of that.
Oh, sure. That's coming out in October. It's called The Least Among Them. And it's a story of the players whose entire career lasted but one game, with that one game being on the Yankees. So I tell the story of each of those players, but then I extrapolate from a fact about that player or the game to a bigger story that's much more well known about the Yankees. The book is available right now in pre-order.
Okay.
And I'm I'm having a number of my associates, friends, colleagues, some big time writers are reviewing it and reading it and give me some really great positive feedback on it. So it's I think it's going to be a big hit. The Least Among Them. It'll come out in October.
Nice, and we'll look forward to that. And we want to thank you for calling, joining in with us. You're always welcome anytime. We're on the air.
Let me know. I'd love to come back and keep talking baseball with you. This was great.
Door is always open, and hopefully, we can meet. And what we started last year was a thing called the Road Show, where we would take the show on the road. We had so many offers to go outside and do our show live. We were offered to go to Meadowlands Racetrack and other stuff. We actually did only one, was with Sean Casey out in South Hills, PA. Great guy, Sean. And we hope to do it again. And when we do that, we'd like you to join us live on the air.
I would love that. Let's do it. Let's set up some time.
Dr. Paul Semendinger. Let's give it up.
Thank you. This was great.
All right. Carl, do your usual shtick and take us home, brother.
Actually, well, I love being on the show and I appreciate the 2-year anniversary, but I would love to just let you know that I have my own show, Sirianni Says Sports.
Oh, there you go. Plug it, baby. Plug it.
So Sirianni Says Sports, it's my own Facebook page. I have my own show with Ryan Barringer Jr. It's on every Tuesday from 8 to 9. We talk about football, baseball, and basketball. Hockey, unfortunately, we don't really talk about hockey too much. Unfortunately, I apologize for that. But it's a great show. It's on 8 to 9. Come check it out every Tuesday. Follow the Facebook page, Sirianni Says Sports. I write articles, and I put up all kinds of content.
You got it. Go ahead, Governor.
All right, so I want to thank Ming again for having us here for doing our show. Without him, we can't do this. And I want to thank Matt for joining us. It's been a long time.
That's right. Matty Ice is back.
So when we're up this way, it's easier for him, and he could be on the show continuously when we're up here, which is good for him and for us. And also, congrats to Sal in his 2 years.
All right. Thank you, guys. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, thank you for joining in our 2-year anniversary with Dr. Paul Semendinger. Thank you, Ming. Thank you, audience. All the listeners have been with us for 2 years, and the new listeners that are out there. Thank you for joining us, as always, on Wednesday nights. I'll be back on January 26th. It's going to be a special about the Hall of Fame. We're going to see who gets in and not. I will come live from my home. I think the thing is at 3 o'clock. If I'm not home, I'll call this gentleman right here if he's got time for me, and I'll do it from here. And on that note, stay warm, and always, New Jersey, stay classy. Good night.